Hello, Jim.
Hello, Ilona. How are you today?
I'm very well. And you?
I'm well also. Thank you.
And here we are, a week later since our last
I know.
meeting.
I know.
Just went like very fast.
Yeah, that's interesting too, isn't it?
And do you have any interesting to share this time?
Well, I something that something that is being noticed is that all these sensations, an itch, um, a desire, separate self, this me that's perceiving everything. It's just another sensation. You've probably said that like 50 times. I don't know. Maybe you haven't, but that's something that has become very aware. Uh, it's very, very noticed that, uh, that it's just another sensation. It's just another thing that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And, it isn't always noticed. It's not always noticed that it isn't always noticed that that there is a separate self. And then it's not always noticed that there's not. It's like, um, it's just like moves and waves of whatever is being noticed, whatever is being given attention.
Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest, most visible difference from before we started this conversation in your like normal everyday life? What changed and what hasn't?
Well,
Uh-huh.
openness has been the biggest thing that I am noticing. This idea, I've heard it so much. Everything is love, you know, and I'm always like, yeah, whatever. Everything's not love. I see a lot of pain and agony everywhere. I see all these things everywhere. How could everything be love if how could that be? It's really simple. My idea of love has been totally warped. Uh, Love is openness to me. That's what I see love as, just this openness. And that's unconditional. Like
Wow.
there's no conditions to openness. And so there's no conditions to love. This thing that I've been calling love my whole life isn't truly openness. It's self-seeking, self-desire, wanting,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like that. And so I think the biggest change has been this uh, directly experienced this openness as I began dropping the things that I know that I thought I knew. Uh, it just became more open.
Oh,
And
so wonderful to hear that. Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing, really, which is, I think it's amazing that I could live in this world for as long as I have and not seen this. I saw glimpses, of course. I think we all do. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, which leads to this strong desire to drop the seeking,
Oh,
That because love isn't seeking.
and what is
Love,
seeking?
wanting something different than what is. You know,
All right.
like wanting a
Right.
change, wanting something different, wanting. I don't mean that it's wrong to seek. Seeking is a good thing. I'm just saying that it's like an incessant, never-ending seeking that I felt that I was having, and it seems like that this desire to stop the seeking is a realization that there's nothing to find. And I was never satisfied with that. I was like, no, there's something to find, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I've realized that actually there's not. The only thing that there is to find is to find that I've been looking at everything from this point of view that that's not accurate. You know, it's not an accurate picture of what's really happening around me.
Nicely said. Do you ever have this experience of looking for your glasses while they are on your head, or keys while they in your hand? Have you ever had such experiences?
Many times, yeah, I've definitely noticed. I had that happen where my glasses are on top of my head, or my phone's in my hand, and someone asks me to look something up, and I'm looking at my phone, and I'm like, well, where's my phone? Because I need to look this up on my phone, and I'm like on my phone talking to someone on my phone, and then I'm looking for my phone. That's exactly like that.
Yes. So this is a perfect example of looking for something that you haven't lost. Like it's
Right.
already here. It hasn't been lost. It's just temporarily there is a blindness, not seeing what's already here.
Mm-hmm. I would say there's a voice that says, yeah, but you need to feel this all the time. You need to know this all the time. You have to have this all the time. And the response would be, I do. It
It's
is here
already
all
here.
the time. This is here all the time. Yeah, but it's not seen all the time. Well, I suppose that there are moments in life when you get caught up in scenarios that are happening around you, and you're not consciously aware that all is one and that there is no self and all these things. But that's a part of the paradox of it all, right? I mean, it's that's life. I mean, I don't want to go into a cave and meditate my whole life. I want to experience what is.
Doesn't matter whether you sit in a cave or you here with the children and having a busy life. Doesn't really matter.
No, it doesn't.
Life is here already, either way. It doesn't matter of the content of life.
And I do understand when people say, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. I would tell you, just don't even do this. Just go keep living your life the way you're living it. And I used to think, no, that's ridiculous. But in all honesty, in my experience, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. There was a hunger inside of me to know something more,
Right.
to see what this is. I'm happy that I have gone this route, I suppose.
So, but okay, coming back to that, looking for your glasses while they are on the head. At some point in that looking, going around the rooms, maybe even asking for help, there is a moment of like, oh, they're here. They're already here. I don't need to look for them anymore. They haven't been lost. And then you carry on doing whatever you are doing. But you no longer need to look for these glasses that haven't been lost. So with that seeking is a little bit like that. It's just looking for something that hasn't been lost.
It is. It is very similar to that. I mean, it's very similar to that, but at the same time, well, at the same time, if you wouldn't have reached up and felt for your glasses, that you wouldn't have found them, even though they were right there.
Mm-hmm.
And so the seeking was basically just that. It was
Mm-hmm.
basically looking around, opening my eyes, seeing what is really being experienced, what is really happening, with the realization that thought is just another thing that's happening. And you did ask me earlier if there was anything that I noticed a lot, and that's the other thing, is that the noticing that the thoughts that arise, I'm not in control. There's no one that's in control. That's another massive thing that has been noticed.
Wonderful. So looking back over these, 5 weeks, was there a moment in your experience that you thought, right, this is it, I see it?
Well, my brain says, well, you haven't. I think it's the watching the thoughts arise that were like nonsensical thoughts, or thoughts that didn't seem to really seem like they were actually something I was contemplating, thinking about. And then noticing that when I was thinking about it, it didn't, there were moments where it just didn't feel like that there was a me that was saying it. Like right now, as I'm speaking to you, if I can actually step back a little bit from the thought process and the thinking, which is weird. But when I take the time to actually step back, I do realize that there's nobody doing this. I mean, yeah, of course it's happening. There's a body here that's doing stuff, and all of these things are happening. But the identification, really, which the whole purpose of that for me, I mean, is just seeing what is real. And it really helps me to see when troublesome times come, or when desires arise, to stay in a place of contentment, and in a place that is, just content with whatever is. You asked if there was a moment, though. It's hard to say. I think that it's all just kind of, it's been a very long process, and long, it's like been 5 weeks or whatever. That's not incredibly long, but this has been going on for a long time. And this happened when it happened. This meaning the meeting of you, the having this experience with you. It happened when it happened, and I don't know if that means it was supposed to happen that way, but it is what happened. I think that I was prepared for this to occur because of where I kind of been seeking.
I'm asking this because sometimes people say that it's very gradual and unnoticeable. Sometimes can be like a big, massive energetic release or massive experience. But it doesn't matter.
Well,
It's
you
just
know,
interesting, how it was for you.
I did, I mean, there have been many of these like grandiose events that have happened. I say that jokingly because that's what it feels like. It feels like, oh, this is it. I wrote to you about this, I was like, oh, this is it. I get it. I get it. And then it's like, that is what oh, I get this. I feel like that's what feeds this seeking, because chemicals are released, dopamine's released. It's like this, oh, I feel really good right now because I've discovered something, I've realized something. And then like later on down the road, it's like, I'm not feeling this way anymore. So I need to seek that again. I need to have that fix again. And when in all honesty, the truth is right there always. It's this, I'm not feeling this way, so I need to seek. I need to do this. I need to do that. And there's no need. There's no need for any of that once it's seen. And so, I mean, I guess it wasn't, there were moments like that was a big moment where I realized that these big moments are just feeding the fixation of wanting to seek, wanting to find something.
As you say, there is nothing wrong with seeking.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, if you didn't seek, then seeking is what we do as humans. It's part of, you wouldn't do anything. So.
Yeah, because in one way or another, everyone is looking for happiness. You can call it happiness, you can call it peace, contentment, happy ever after, but that's what everyone is looking for.
Yeah.
In many wrong places, sometimes in the right places.
Yeah.
But that's the right to happiness, as they say. You can just enjoy it. Enjoy your day, enjoy your conversations, enjoy little things you do, big things you do.
Yeah, when you said that people seek for these things, and sometimes they do it in many wrong ways, and instantly my brain was like, there's no such thing as wrong. And I was like, yeah, but you know what she's saying? She's saying that there are ways to do this that are healthy and that it will build you up, and there's ways to do this which are unhealthy, like shooting heroin would be an example, I suppose. Or different things. I'm going to a concert on Saturday. Why? Because I like to, because I like pleasure and happiness, and that's what I dig. So that's what I'm going to do, and there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Who's playing?
It's just what?
Who's playing?
I'm seeing a band called the Black Angels. Google them; they are awesome. But yeah, I'm seeing them in Chicago. So I'm actually seeing 3 concerts this week, which is insane. I never do that. This is insane. And I only bought tickets for one of them. So that's not, I'm defending myself here.
So the concert just said, okay, you need to come here. Here are the tickets.
Oh, do you mean the,
How did that happen that you, how did that happen? You said you only bought tickets to one concert and you're going.
I have a friend who is a music fanatic, as I am. And he bought tickets to one of the shows, and he asked me if I wanted to go, and I was like, nah. I said, I've spent enough money on concerts. And so then he just bought them, and I was like, dude, you didn't need to do that. He's like, it's all right. I want to go. So we're going to that. That's the one on Saturday. The other one, members of the band are giving them to us. That's a long story. Then the other one, I bought them because I've been wanting to see it for a while. So And it's exciting. And it's a funny thing because I could say, well, that's not very spiritual. That's not very, what, it's not what, no, that has nothing to do with anything whatsoever. I do not care about this quote unquote spirituality. And I don't mean that to be offensive. I'm just saying that I'm concerned with what is. And what's funny is that I've been kind of anti-spiritual for a very long time. I say very long, like, I don't know, 8, 10 years, something like that, because of my spirituality paths. And I kind of blocked that off, and I've said, nah, I don't want anything to do with spirituality. I want everything to do with science, right? So, and with the seeking, I think I've come to realize that I just don't know. I have no idea. So whatever happens, happens. If it's spiritual, it's spiritual. And if it's not, it's not. I don't know. Bring it on.
Well,
Let's just see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this word spiritual is just another label to, yes, I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Oh, I'm not spiritual. Here you go. I'm not spiritual.
Right. Yeah. It's like someone who's, I grew up kind of in the punk scene. And so we would all call ourselves nonconformists. And it's hilarious because we were all just conforming. We were all conforming anyway. It's like, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're conforming in some way, shape, or form. And so it goes. Yeah.
I asked about these concerts because I remember I gave you once homework. I said, have fun.
Oh, that was a different concert, right? Oh, I did go to a concert when you told me that, and I had a lot of fun at that concert. Yeah.
Just that fun keeps happening. It's more of it as you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I am.
More is just coming. It's like, here you go. You need more concerts. Go there. Go there.
Yeah, I suppose. It's, I am doing well. I mean, life situations have been challenging. My life goes on, and there's still situations with home. There's situations with friends and family.
And did you
really
get your electrical thing fixed?
Yes, that's all fixed. So
good.
Yeah. Yeah. And
rewired.
Yeah. A lot of rewiring done here. It's funny. I mean, there's this thing that says, yeah, but Jim, you haven't become enlightened. And I don't care. I just don't care anymore. I don't care because it's funny. It's like, what does that even mean? It's like, I see what is. I see what's happening. I'm experiencing what I can experience. I see it as much as I possibly can see it. That's the part that I think that I've learned to embrace. I realize that I can't totally understand this thing. I'm going to do this because I love this so much. Carl Sagan told the story of a two-dimensional world. He says, imagine a world of 2 dimensions where you just have, and there's no up and no down. So it's just like a flat piece of paper. And imagine that there's your creature in this world. Like you would have no height and no depth, but you would just have length and width, and that's it. That's impossible for us to really think of, but just think of a flat piece of paper. Mm-hmm. And then a 3-dimensional object comes over the top of it and says, hello. And this 2-dimensional creature hears this voice booming from every direction that exists for them, which is just all around, front, back, left, right. And no matter how much that 3-dimensional creature tries to explain to this 2-dimensional creature that it's above it, that 2-dimensional creature is never, ever, ever going to be able to understand that. Never. It will not be able to understand that. And that's how I feel, no matter how we try to explain this non-dual reality. These brains are not going to be able to understand this. They can understand some concepts of it. They can understand some things of it. They can do whatever. But as soon as you start to talk about it, as soon as you start to try to point to it, it's paradoxical. And I just love that illustration because I think it perfectly really describes this. I know it's a little weird, but you know.
Oh, it's very good. Thank you for sharing.
And knowing that it's okay not to fully understand or be able to express, maybe is a better way of saying that.
Yeah, which also leaves openness for mystery and wonder.
Yes, and actually openness for that word, spirituality, which is really just openness and wonder and you know, to see, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on here. I was always so rigid in my beliefs and so hell bent on saying like, this is what's going, this is real and this is not. And now I just kind of look at it and go, I don't know. I think that what I was trying to say is that everything's okay. And yeah, really just that everything is okay. And when I say that I don't know anything, all I mean is that these beliefs I've held don't have the power that I once gave them.
Nice.
I mean, I get to choose. I can choose what I want to embrace. I get to choose what I would like to chase. If I want to chase something, I get to choose that. But it doesn't have any power over me unless I give it power over me. And that sounds like inspirational speaker stuff, but it doesn't really matter. There's truth to it. There's truth to that. Like you really can create, to an extent, your reality. I realize that your place in life, your well, maybe not. I don't know. I was going to say your poverty level, your wealth level, your plot in life, kind of seems to dictate those things. But I don't know. I guess we should just try and find out, right?
No.
The judgment-free zone here, okay? I don't mean that, you know, like some people look at people and go, hey, if you would just do this, you would, you know, behave this way or think this way, you could achieve whatever you want. You don't have the faith. And that's not what I'm saying at all. So I don't want that to be mistaken. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that I get to choose this. It's that simple.
So what are you choosing right now?
Like right this second?
Yes, right now.
I don't know. Just sitting here talking. I'm choosing to spend time with you and to, yeah, just to explore this.
It's already happening.
This is true. I like to look at what's happening.
By the way, how is Jim doing? What happened to Jim?
Well, there's been this realization that when I say this, it means something different than what I said before. When I say that Jim doesn't exist, I literally mean that this separate sense of me, of I, even of I am, minus the am, just the I. That idea is just, gosh, how do you even say this? There is something being experienced. It's not being experienced by this separate Jim. It's not being experienced by this I. It's not being experienced because that doesn't exist. It's not real. It feels real because I'm a two-dimensional creature stuck in a two-dimensional world. I don't really mean that. I know we're not a two-dimensional world, but it's the way that everything's experienced is seen this way. It's seen as a separate self, and it just doesn't exist. Like Jim doesn't even have any, like when I say, oh, that's Jim. Jim wants this. Jim wants that. No, that's not true. There is no Jim who wants anything. And that's the difference that I've seen. Because I used to personify Jim. And I would say, well, Jim wants this and Jim wants that. And it's funny because I didn't even realize I was doing it. I mean, I did, but I didn't realize I didn't realize what was being said by saying the words I was saying. I didn't realize what was being reinforced. I was actually reinforcing the separate self by isolating this thing and saying, "Oh, that's not me. That's him. That's Jim." And but there is no isolating. There's just this happening. These thoughts happening. There's no. Yeah. I mean, sure, Jim's still going to be around. I'm still going to recognize that Jim. I said I. When I say I guess we call that Jim. But it's not real. That's the weird thing. But my head doesn't spin over it too much. My head doesn't go, yeah, what? No, my head's just like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, remember you don't exist. That thought comes up sometimes. How's Ilona?
Who? What?
I mean, trust me, I still see things. How do you navigate life without having this feeling of a separate self? I mean, I have these moments where it doesn't feel like there's a separate self. But I mean, it's not ever present. It's not an ever present feeling.
Okay. All right. You said, how do you navigate? Okay. You said, how do you navigate life without a separate feeling of separate self? But then what is that you that navigates? There's nobody there.
Well, who are you talking to?
It's just talking.
Well, yes, I do understand what you're saying. Yes.
Whatever is coming out here is just whatever is coming out.
Right. You are correct. It's just hard to. It's not always seen. Is what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
It's not always seen.
at this stage is absolutely fine, because it
Right,
needs to
yeah.
be seen from all different angles and all different kinds of
Hmm.
situations.
Yeah, I don't
So,
feel like I have arrived at some spot or something, but I definitely, and I don't even know if that's such a thing. I don't know if that even exists, but uh, it feels like, I mean, there's things that keep, like this whole thing about love, that's fairly new. And that's major to me. I mean, to think of this openness as love. I mean, people might go, no, that's not true. It's just openness. Like, well, whatever. This is the way that it's seen here.
mhm.
And it doesn't negate that thing that I call love. Like I love, you know, a girlfriend, or you know, the way that anyone would love a lover, uh, love a parent, love a child. It doesn't negate those things. It just puts those things into perspective. It's like, sure, I'm always going to love my dad. You know, he's not going to do anything that's going to make me not love him. I might be frustrated with him, or might whatever, but I'm not going to stop loving. It's unconditional. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
The love I have for my father is unconditional. The love I have for a lover, I mean, we've all been there. And so we can call it love if we want. But there is a love that we call it love. There's a love a thing that we've called love that really is seeking.
Mm-hmm.
Seeking, it's wanting, it's a seeking and a wanting. And then there's a love that just permeates everything. And the two are fine. There's nothing wrong with either of these loves. And they both work together, honestly, because it's all the same anyway. But yet it's also different. That makes sense. That has been just eye-opening to me.
Wow.
And it seems like it's so simple. It seems like I should have seen this like forever ago. But whatever. Here it is. Yeah, and it keeps coming back to me, this allowing of anything. Once again, that doesn't mean, I suppose it kind of does mean allowing anything, but it doesn't mean allowing yourself to be in a situation that is painful, that you can find a way out of, and you just stay there because, well, I'm just open. I'm just open. No, that's kind of dumb. You're in a painful situation and you see a way out. You know, I think it's been said many times that, you know, you can either try to change that situation, you can ignore that situation, you can embrace that situation, but anything else you do is pretty much madness. And actually, the ignoring of the situation is kind of madness too. But, you know, it doesn't mean you just let anything happen to you. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that everything is allowed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because everything is happening.
Yeah, it's more about like inner relationship with what is happening.
Yes.
Because the outside
Yes.
things, situations, people come, stay, and go, right? But there is inner, like, judgment or acceptance or allowing or pushing or pulling, that kind of inner fight or peace with what is. So that
The
allowing
pushing,
is about that. Yeah.
yeah,
No
that
more
pushing and
pushing, no
pulling.
more fighting. Yeah.
Yeah, that pushing and pulling, that thing has been, what's funny is when I moved here in Indiana, when I moved here, I, about 7 years ago or something, I started to paint, and everyone would say to me, "Oh, what's this painting about? What's this painting about? What's this painting mean?" And I would always just tell them, "Oh, what's it mean to you?" And but I kind of came to this conclusion that a majority of my paintings were all about conflict. And it's funny to me now because it's like I always sensed everything as a conflict, your right and left brain, you know, these things that are trying to get your attention, they're competing for thoughts that are competing for your attention. Uh, just in every one that's competing for your attention or for you to pay attention to them. It's like this, there's this constant uh, push and pull that's going on. But in all honesty, just loosening up, relaxing, this being aware of how my body reacts to a situation really speaks volumes. So meditation could speak volumes because you start to notice all the little things. You notice that, oh, there's a small tension in my chest right now. What am I feeling? What is this here for? Oh, I'm in resistance to this. This is happening. Okay, so what do? I'll just breathe into that, breathe into that tension, let it go, and just be. So that happened to me, but yet that has happened to me for a long time. I've had that awareness for a long time. But bring that awareness with all of this information that I've learned. That awareness with all this information is like a next level understanding of, as you said, your inner reaction to what's happening. That's the way that we perceive things.
Let's talk about the painting behind you. What is that about?
Okay. It's funny. Well, it's really not about anything. I like color, and but at the same time, there is a slight thing that is happening in it. So I paint circles a lot, and to me, it feels like my life essence, like that, which is, I guess maybe it's kind of a separate sense of self. So, like this is like this kind of like a being that's maybe coming across something, experiencing something. And then there's this light over here, this other one there. That's another one. They're actually two separate things. But then this big one right here is made up of tons and tons of little colors and little things. And to me, it's really just an exploration of what they're experiencing. So like each one of these is like an entity experiencing something, and this is what they're experiencing. It's what they're seeing. It's just simple. Other ones I have are much more. This one's more flowy and more, I don't know, more peaceful. But there's just a lot of stuff about conflict. But lately, it hasn't really been that. I've been painting more things about perception, and yeah, that's about it, really.
Oh,
I
that's so
never
funny.
ever
There's this ball just above your head.
That's funny. That's funny.
Okay, so would you say you're good to carry on with your own investigation, with your own self-inquiry, with your own exploring what is here? Or are there any burning questions remaining?
Yes, I think that I am very capable of proceeding on my own. Just looking at what is, and I'll probably still watch videos and things like that, just because I enjoy it. Something that Alan Watts had said, people said, well, why do you do this then if nothing matters or if nothing's real or whatever? I don't know what they're talking about. And he says, so why do I do this? Because I like to. I like it. I like this interaction that I have with people. I enjoy it, and that's why I do it. And okay. I don't know if I'll always do it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I do feel like the seeking is coming to an end.
Great to hear that. I say when the seeking for something out there ends, it doesn't just end, it kind of transforms into exploring, which is more joyful, more open, and
Yes,
exciting.
I agree with that. Yeah.
I remember when I saw this first time, and it was so interesting just to watch what's going on in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Like an amusement park opened, and I could take all these rides and see everything freshly or in a new, different way. So it was a lot of exploring going on.
Yeah.
Which is good fun, rather than desperate need, give me something.
I've been there, and I've been in the desperation for a while, you know, and the desperation is like loosening its grip majorly. In fact, it's pretty much not even there. It's pretty much kind of playful.
Great.
Yeah. And thank you. I appreciate you and everything that you're doing. So.
Thank you. And let's thank all the viewers that saw this this conversation and followed you. And who knows, we may meet again.
Maybe. You never know.
See what happens. Yes. And for now, enjoy life. Enjoy exploring.
Well, thank you. You too.
Bye. Well, thank you for watching all these videos. If you watched it from the beginning till the end, you could see how Jim changed in his expression and in the way he feels. And for those who are looking for this kind of transformation, for this kind of end of seeking and relaxing into being, relaxing to your life, please come to Liberation Unleashed and get a guide. This is very doable. And find out for yourself what is true in your experience. There's also my book, Liberation Unleashed, and Gateless Gatecrash is available on Amazon. If you want to just read and do it on your own, also very accessible. And if you need my personal help, you can find me on my website, ilonaciunaite.com. You can send me a message and we can set up a session. Bye for now. Till next time.